Right now, a man could be in a relationship with a woman who is not really interested in him. Or, if he is not in a relationship with a woman like this, he could be dating or seeing a woman who is. Consequently, he is going to be into or really into her, but she is not going to feel the same way towards him. He might have been trying to change what is going on for weeks, months, or years. Yet, regardless of how long he might have been doing this, he could find that it hasn't had much of an impact. Throughout this time, he might have done a lot for her and spent a lot of money on her. Due to how ineffective this has been, he could carry a fair amount of resentment and be deeply frustrated. But although part of him might be ready to cut his ties with her, another part of him might be holding on. If he was to call it a day then, a small part of him could be relieved, and another bigger part of him could end up falling into a very deep hole. This can seem strange, especially as being with this woman wasn't serving him. He was in a position where he was giving a lot and receiving very little back, which was causing him to be deprived. However, thanks to how he feels, he could have moments when he believes that this proves how much he loved or liked the woman he was with. If he does have moments like this and he was to talk about what is going on to a friend or a family member, he could end up being told that he needs to completely face up to what was actually going on. To them, it will be clear that he was with a woman who wasn't right for him. They could find it hard to understand why he simply can't face reality. As a result of what he has told them about what it was actually like, they might be only too aware of how dysfunctional it was. After a few weeks or months have passed, he could end up getting back in touch with the woman and try to take things further. He might not end up hearing back from her, or she could come across as being slightly interested. If he does receive a few crumbs of interest, he could end up being filled with hope. He could end up believing that this time it will be different, and that she actually wants to be with him now. If he was to arrange a time to see her, this could end up being cancelled at the last minute, or he could meet her and she could come across as cold and having no interest in him whatsoever. As opposed to wanting to be there, it could be as though she is there because she has to be there. After their time has come to an end, he could feel very low and hopeless and helpless. He might be able to accept that there is nothing there at this point, or he could end up trying all over again. If he does accept that there is nothing there, he could end up being drawn to another woman who is pretty much the same. He will be into her, but she won't really be into him, and this is going to cause him to suffer all over again. Now, if he was able to take a step back and reflect on this area of his life, he could see that this is something that he has experienced on a number of occasions. What could enter his mind is that this is just what women are like, and that there is very little that he can do. Still, if he was to meet a woman who was into him, he could end up pushing her away. This is not to say that he won't be attracted to her, but he could just end up calling it a day before long. If this was to take place, he could struggle to understand why he has pushed a woman away that was interested in him after struggling to make a woman like him for so long. He could believe that this shows that he wasn't really into her, as if he was, this wouldn't have happened. Taking into account the fact that he has continually been drawn to women who were not interested, and may have been with at least one woman who was, but soon ended up pushing her away, it may show that he is replaying what took place during his formative years. During his developmental years, his mother might not have been able to provide him with the love that he needed. But as he desperately needed her to love him in order to grow and develop in the right way. He wouldn't have been able to face reality. Accepting the fact that she couldn't love him would have been too painful for him to handle. He would have come to believe that there was something wrong with him, and so if he did the right things, he would finally be loved by her. This would have involved him automatically losing touch with himself and developing a false self, in the hope that this would cause her to love him. Many, many years will have passed since this stage of his life, but he will still be playing out the same scenario. By unconsciously being attracted to and attracting women who are not into him or are simply unavailable, it will allow him to continue to try to receive the love that he missed out on. Of course, these women won't be his mother, but thanks to transference, this is something that he won't realize at a deeper level. Just like when he was a boy, he will be deprived of what he needs and will feel hopeless and helpless. If he is with a woman who can love him, he won't be able to engage in a struggle for love, and this will cause him to feel hopeless and helpless. Thus, for him to stop struggling for love and to let love in, he will need to face the pain of not being loved and express his unmet developmental needs that go with it. This will gradually liberate him from the invisible prison that he has been in for so long. So if you are a man and you can relate to this, and you can see that you have been, for as long as you can remember, trying to make a woman like, love and want you, to want to be with you, and this has taken place with a number of women, then it is likely to show that you are engaging in a struggle for love. Your childhood will be over, and these women, as I've said, will not be your mother. But at an unconscious level, you won't realize this. Deep down, part of you will have seen these women as your mother, and so you will continue to struggle to receive something that you missed out on, something that your mother was unable to give you, not because you were unlovable or worthless, but because your mother simply couldn't love you. Most likely because she wasn't loved during her early years, and as she didn't receive what she needed, she was unable to give you what you needed. So the fact is, you are worthy of being loved, you are lovable, you deserve to be with a woman who can love you, who can be there for you. And in order for you to experience this, you will most likely, as I've said, need to face the pain of not being loved and to express your unmet developmental needs. And over time, you will no longer be interested in a woman who is not interested in you. You won't be trying to struggle for what you missed out on, because through working through this pain and these needs, the pull won't be there. There will be more of you that does want to be with a woman who can love you, who can be there for you. So if you can relate to this, you may need to reach out for external support so that you can start to work through your pain and to express your unmet developmental needs, assuming you haven't already. And this is something that can be provided with the assistance of a therapist or a healer, but the main thing is that you do what you need to do to gradually change your life. If you'd like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.